All right, recording. We're live. This is episode one of the inaugural Good Game and a Drink podcast, where we talk about good games and good drinks. I'm one of three hosts. I'm Bryce, and just want to introduce myself to say I am currently drinking something that's needed when you have a marathon, a gaming marathon, and kind of need to recharge. It's the good old classic coffee.
Coffee.
That is my drink, and that is something that I definitely recommend. After
It's
you've
early.
Yeah, it's early. You spent about 8 hours playing games. Need to get that recharge going on. So my drink for the week is good old coffee. And the good game that I'm playing this week is Far Cry 6. Definitely put in several hours of Far Cry 6 over the past couple of weeks. Still playing it. It's going to be a little tough to continue playing it with the games that are launching in November, December, but I'm hoping to get that done and complete once all the other Q4 games come out. But yeah, so that's my game that I'm playing this week. So let me toss it over to Marcus.
All right. So yeah, you said it. My name is Marcus. So it is early morning time. Have you
Mhm.
guys heard of orange juice?
Orange juice is
Orange.
good. I think I've
Okay.
heard of
Orange.
it. Yeah,
Wait. Have you heard of pineapple juice?
pineapple that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Have you heard of apple juice?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't
yes.
like
So
where you're
I'm about
going
to
with
blow your
this.
mind. There's orange pineapple apple juice.
What? Like off
Yes,
the
it's a
shelf?
thing. Off the Welch's. It's
What?
what? Yeah. Cut a check, Welch's. So yeah, I'm drinking
What?
that. It's delicious. The game that I'm currently playing is Destiny 2. It's Festival of the
Mhm.
Lost now, time now. So it's like their Halloween thing where we honor all the fallen guardians of the past. Rest in peace, Cade.
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I'm paying right now. What about you, Lawrence?
Um. So hey, I'm Lawrence. Otherwise known as Your Shyness. I'm currently drinking sparkling pink grapefruit.
It's fancy.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
sparkling drinks, and since I
Is it
since
the
I'm on this health
fizz? It's
kick,
the
I
sparkles, the fizz.
yeah, like just my sister calls it
Tickles your
static,
tongue.
like drinking
Okay. I
static.
can.
So anything with bubbles is static.
That's
Okay.
good. Yeah, that's a good
Um,
analogy.
I try not to drink soft drinks, but you know, can't stop, won't stop. Uh-uh.
All
The
right.
game I'm currently playing, Octopath Traveler. I love that game right now. It's destroying me. So I gotta do the old school, fighting little things and getting like 1 XP at a time, and
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
it's a huge gap in that game. But it's good. It's real good.
So do you rotate your players, or do you have a solid core that you're running the game with first, or are you rotating players in the game?
I started rotating players until I got new jobs, and then I was like, I don't need to rotate players. I just need to rotate classes. So
Hmm.
I have my solid four. I started with Tressa because money, and
Hmm.
everyone else is just extra, except for what is that? Ophelia, like the white mage. I made her a white
Okay.
mage and a dark mage, so those two are my my core, and then the other two spots are whoever.
All right. Cool. So like with that, the intro, let's jump into our first kind of topic of the week. Um, we'll talk about the resurgence of the quote unquote the demo.
Oh,
Um, I
loving
know
it.
demo games was a thing like previous generations, like
Mm-hmm.
360, going back to PS2, PlayStation,
PlayStation.
going all the
Yeah.
way back. For anyone who've ever read the official Xbox magazine, every so often it would have the demo discs in the actual
Inside.
magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's like now that we're in the digital age, the age of the demo has kind of faded away a little bit, but it seems like at least this year that the trend of having game demos is somewhat starting to come back. Just wanted to bring up a quick story from Google Stadia. So, for those who don't know, Google Stadia is a cloud platform that's built by Google, where you don't need a console. All you need is essentially their Google Stadia controller and an app on your TV. You can pretty much play all of the major games through the cloud, through the internet. It's an interesting concept that's I think is going to be kind of the future where we go with video games in general. But they announced last week that they're going to start to have the option of a free trial for any of their any of their games in their library, so you can play it for 30 minutes. Play any
Oh,
game
okay.
in the Stadia library for 30 minutes, which is essentially going to be like a
Yeah.
demo.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting that they're kind of introducing that. They kind of need that because I know the um, not a lot of people are playing Google Stadia, so I think this is a kind of a good kind of intro point or excuse for people to kind of jump in and play Google Stadia. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and then couple that with I know Lawrence, you play a lot of Metroid, and then they had their demo for Metroid to kind of get people back into playing Metroid Dread. So I just wanted to bring up, you know, the resurgence of the demo, and where do you all think, you know, do you think that trend is going to continue? Do you like demos? Do you not like demos? Do you just want to jump in and play the full game, or let's go to Marcus. What do you think about this whole resurgence of the demo, and your just thoughts about the demo?
See, the thing about the demo is it depends on the game and it depends on what part of the game they're letting you demo. Like RPG games at the beginning, you're leveling up, you don't know really what you're doing, you're weak, so you have to like takes a while to actually get into the game. So if they're only giving you the first 30 minutes of the game, that first 30 minutes you're just pretty much doing the whole tutorial basics of.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I know other games they start you like in the middle, like the exciting mission. I get that not necessarily the best mission, but you know
Yep.
something exciting that pulls you in and reels you in and be like, okay, this is kind of dope. So
Mhm.
that's how I think about that.
Yeah. So it kind of depends on like
On the game.
how it's set up. Yeah.
Hmm.
What about you, Lawrence?
Um, so I would say I love it. Allowing people to demo things before they fully try is something I miss because instead of having that hesitation of spending that $60, now you know I had fun on just this little part. So of course I'm gonna love the whole thing. And I like it
Mhm.
when demos have situations such as there was a Breath of the Wild demo that you couldn't get yourself, but you could play it in stores, and it had you at like two different levels. So like
Mhm.
you can either start at the beginning and build yourself up, or like it was like in the middle where you had some power ups and you were
Hmm.
a little bit more experienced. So demos need to come back, especially if they want to start charging these premiums for games, because right now people are choosing to play their backlogs instead of buying new games, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
just easier right now. So you have to give
Yep.
people a better reason for wanting to spend $60 on something new that they might not play, because we
Yeah.
all have games we haven't played.
Yeah. I think for me, being kind of an Xbox guy, for people who do want to just like test the waters of games and not necessarily want to put down the full 60 or $70 for a game, I think Game Pass is a great option for people because you pay this, $10, $15 fee every month. You can kind of jump into a game and not necessarily spend that $60. So if you want to jump in, play it for an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, be like, you know what, I'm not really feeling this game, maybe uninstall it. But there's no real negative for that because you're already paying, the 15 for Game Pass anyway. So granted, not every single game is going to be on Game Pass. Like Last of Us will never be on Game Pass, but if you're an owner of an Xbox Series X or S and you do want to just dabble in games and kind of like play some of the small independent games first before you actually make a purchase. I think Game Pass is kind of that demo space a little bit uh, to do that. So I hope that I know PlayStation has their PS. I think it's PS Now.
Yeah.
And I hope that they continue to expand, and hopefully Nintendo at some point has a similar thing. So we do kind of still have this space to demo games without having to throw down the full price of the game. So um, that's where
Do
my
you
that's where my head's at. But
do y'all like consider because you know they have like betas and all that stuff now? Do y'all
mhm.
think that's a demo type of thing, or is it not really because you're like playing just like a build of the game, so it's not the entire?
Honestly, like for me, I think it is. I think it
You think
is.
so?
Like I,
You
cause
don't think so,
I spent
Lawrence?
I spent a couple of hours on like Halo's multiplayer, essentially their beta, their tech preview, and like while that game was like there were some bugs here and there, it was essentially a demo of like what the multiplayer experience was all about. Um, Granted, you couldn't play like every single level, and you didn't
Level.
have like every single thing unlocked.
Yeah.
But it was a good taste of what the multiplayer experience is going to be. And I think that's what a demo is supposed to do is like give you kind of a flavor of what the full game is going to
What you
be.
expect.
So I think I am. I think I am in the boat of like the beta being like a demo. I don't know.
I,
Lawrence, you were
I,
shaking your
I,
head. You
Yeah.
disagree?
I'm on the fence about it because just seeing where games are when they come out for beta and full release, there's sometimes a big discrepancy. So just because you like something in a beta doesn't mean they're going to make that a big feature when the game actually comes out. Which I wouldn't say it's the same because if I get used to something in a demo and I go
Mhm.
to look for it in the real game and it's something that they remove, then that kind of has that disparity. And
Got
it,
it.
it's
Is
it.
there go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like like for example, people who pre-order games and they get that early release, and then after the early release, they find out some bugs, so they start nerfing things, or like people build up
Yeah.
entire play setups around a mechanic of a game, and then when the actual release comes
It's
out, they're like, oh,
gone.
we had to tweak that because people
Hmm.
were
Yeah.
misusing it.
Exploiting.
Well, I
And
mean, to play like the other side of that though, like nowadays at least, they do that for full releases, right? Like they release a game, let's say like Call of Duty, and like a gun is just like way too overpowered. So after 2 weeks of the game being fully released, to your point, they nerf it. Or
well,
there's a game that's like just too weak and they buff it. So I feel like whether it's a demo or a beta or the full release, like there's
It's
still going to
still
be
the same.
tweaks moving forward. So
Telesto. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
it's a tough place to be because like I played Borderlands 3 for a little bit, and I built up my character. Like I had the perfect guns and the perfect setup, and then they're like, oh, using this setup, you can exploit a lot of things in the system. So they changed it. So everything I had built was
Hmm.
just useless.
Was that in a demo or was that in the full game?
It was actually in the full game. So that
Hmm.
was when that really I haven't played that game since.
Yeah.
I'm like I spent hours upon
Hours.
hours. Like everything
Hours.
was
Yeah.
perfect. I was exactly where I wanted to be, and they're like, "Oh, we need to change these numbers." I was like, "Oh, okay." So now everything is just useless. My nothing acts the
Wow.
same. My guns don't work the same. I'm like, I'm not doing that
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I think well on that note, there's a little bit of a tangent. Tiny Tina's Wonderland is one of my most anticipated games. Probably top three for next year. That game, 'cause I mean, I enjoy Borderlands, and just to have that kind of the RPG fantasy element of that brought into the Borderlands formula, um, I'm excited for that. It's a little bit of a tangent, but yeah, I just had to
Tiny
throw that
Tina
out
is
there.
nuts. Tiny Tina is
Yeah.
nuts.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about the demo, and some of us like it, some of us don't like it. So let's transition to, and this is kind of another. This could be a controversial topic. The GTA Trilogy being re-released in about 2 weeks for the new systems. Um, I am conflicted about this because
Okay.
GTA. I don't. They're such old games. Like they're such
Okay.
old games, but they're still like classic. And I think it just like internally it bothers me that a company can re-release a game like so many times and still like make
Make money
millions and
off of
millions
it.
of dollars. Like GTA 5, like was released like 10 years ago, and they just keep on like releasing it and releasing it. It's like at some point it's like you gotta just release
or
GTA 6.
or
Just release
Skyrim
GTA 6.
or
Um,
any game that are like that.
it's
Any of
like
those games.
yeah. Like I
I
get
mean,
it.
that's
I
what
get it.
people do nowadays. Even like with music, they re-release or they have albums and then they come out with the deluxe version of the album and
Yep.
it's like two extra songs. So
Hmm.
I mean, people trying to get their coins.
Yeah.
I get it. Are you gonna play it? Yes.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it because, and the reason I'm gonna buy it is because, like, when GTA 3 specifically, when that first came out, like, I was at a stage where like I didn't really have any systems, and I had to like go to your house, Marcus, to like really play the sandbox of GTA 3. And I couldn't, like, I never really like played the missions or whatever. It was just like just doing a sandbox. So like now I'm like, okay, they're re-releasing it for the new systems. I can finally jump in and like actually play like just the story of it. So I am kind of excited just to kind of jump in and play GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas because like those three games came out at a time where I just didn't like play them regularly. So I'm excited for that, but just the concept of
the
developers
moral the moral part of it.
re-releasing these games gives me a little bit of heartburn. But
I mean, it's the same as they're re-releasing all of our favorite shows. So they just take the idea and package it up new, and they resell it to the new generation. And we're in a position where we're like, hey, I just bought that, so you don't need to buy that. But you want people to experience the same thing as you. It's just you. I hate the idea of having to buy these games again. Like,
So I'm gonna ask you the same question. Are you gonna buy it?
no, I,
Oh,
GT, no.
word?
I
No.
see that there are certain games that can get me to buy again, and GTA is not one of them. Like, I I have an
That's
unopened copy
crazy.
of GTA 5 right now.
That's crazy.
I
I
and
mean,
I bought it because it was on sale. It was like $20, and I was
I mean,
I'm hard on games.
Lawrence. I mean, I don't
This
want to like put you on the spot or nothing, but like, don't you have an unopened PS5?
PS5.
Yeah, yeah, I do.
So I mean, so
Did you?
I think I understand because he doesn't have an open PS5. So like, why buy
Hmm.
it when
If he's not gonna
if
play
the
it,
system
he's
isn't? Yeah,
he's not
yeah.
gonna be able to. Yeah.
So
Did you play any other GTA's,
Yeah, I
Lawrence?
played San Andreas. I played GTA 3, and I was like, yeah,
Vice City.
this is fun. I didn't play Vice City. Um,
So GTA, you're not like you played it, but you're not necessarily a GTA like.
right.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
there's something about the fact that like open worlds kind of bother me. Like, I don't want to be able to do whatever I want whenever I want. Like,
It's the
so like
American dream. What are you talking about?
you're more like the linear, like you want that story, like linear story type of like game.
yeah. The only time that I'm okay with like open world is where there's something in us in an area with like open world is where there's something in us in an area that I'm too weak to get to, and if I
Hmm.
want to be in that area, so like I like level caps. I like stuff where you just walk in, it's like, oh, what's that, and you get destroyed in like one hit. It's like, oh, okay, don't
Yeah,
go
I
that
mean,
way anymore.
you can kind of get that though in open worlds though, because like in Assassin's Creed, that's essentially an open world game, and there are definitely areas where if you keep going in the map, you would get destroyed
You'll die.
if you're not leveled up enough. So, um, but I mean, I get it though, because like for me, I like linear stories too, like Last of Us 2, Part 2, and Part 1. I know Part 2 got a lot of heat because of the story, but I absolutely loved like Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, and looking forward to the TV show too, because
Hmm.
I just like zombie
Zombies.
type games, and
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
also love stealth,
Hmm.
and stealth is a big, it can be a big part of Last of Us. So I just absolutely love that game. So I understand where Lord's coming from.
Nah, son. Nah.
I am
Which
terrible at stealth games.
Yeah,
So which one are you gonna play first, Bryce, when it comes out?
I'm
Are you
gonna
just gonna
jump
go
into
in
GTA.
order?
I'm gonna jump into GTA 3. I'm gonna try to play him in even though it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna play him in lines. I'm gonna jump in GTA 3. I was reading like the actual story of GTA 3 can be beat in like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, word.
Um,
What fun is that?
If you
which
just
I
stick
think,
to the core missions, yeah.
yeah,
The mission.
yep, yeah. So, but yeah, I'm gonna jump into GTA 3, and then I never really played Vice City, so I'm kind of interested to really jump into Vice City. 'Cause I think that's a lot of people's favorite GTA was Vice City. And obviously San Andreas, but
That's the one. That's the
San
one I'm
Andreas,
going
that's
I
to.
yours.
I
Yeah.
watched you play Vice City, Marcus. Like that's the only
Mhm.
time I saw that game.
Yeah,
When you were playing, I was like, oh,
yeah. I feel
this
like
looks like
growing up,
fun.
like Marcus was like GTA, like
That was my joint.
yeah,
Yeah. But I'm for sure gonna go up in San Andreas, see what my homie CJ talking about.
yep,
Say what's up with Big Smoke.
yep.
You gonna let the train get away? Oh, it's gonna be easier to fly the stupid plane.
Oh my gosh, man, GTA and planes, like what the heck, man? Like, did they like purposefully like? 'Cause I remember in
Make it.
GTA 5, there was a mission where you had to fly a plane inside of a plane. Um, I was like, what the heck, GTA? Like, come on, man, can you make these controls any easier, please?
Ah,
Man,
classic.
yep. All
All I
right, so
used to do
that's
is just go in, spawn like a plane or a tank, and just go wild until I
Cheat
died.
codes.
just wreak havoc. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Get the cheat codes going. Get unlimited ammo. Do y'all play GTA Online at all?
I have, but I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not. So GTA 5, when that came out, I had like a rooted PlayStation. Was it 3 or 4? PlayStation had to be 4.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it 3? It was one of them,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I downloaded GTA, so I couldn't play it online because if I played it online, I would have
Oh, they'll
gotten
catch
like
you.
pinged. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So my on my other one, like I had two. You know what I'm saying? I had a real one,
Hmm.
and then I had a downloaded one.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. So on my real one, I played the online one.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good times.
Yeah.
I know they have like role playing things that I be seeing on Twitch that people be doing.
Hmm.
Like those are hilarious to me.
Yep.
But yeah, I like GTA Online.
Yeah. I've not made the leap yet into GTA Online. So the thing, like, I mean, I think a big piece of GTA Online is like the heist, like the bank heist, and that was like in GTA 5 at least. My favorite mission was like the bank robbery. So a part of it's like, man, I don't want to jump into GTA Online like just to do that because that was so much fun, but
See, the
I
thing
just
about
never did it.
it took those took too long to come out for me though,
Hmm.
because they took like forever. Like the heist took forever. Like GTA 5 it was out, and heist came like years
Yep.
after the fact. Did you play GTA 5 at all, Lawrence, or no? You just have the unopened one.
Yeah, I have the unopened one. And
It's it's dope.
I
Yeah.
was like,
It's
I, I
dope.
had fun with it. Yeah.
It's dope.
I bought the game because I was like, at some point in time, I'm gonna play it. It's in my backlog, but it's every game that comes out takes priority over that one.
Hmm.
Gotcha.
So like, I just recently, I bought Metroid Dread, and I was like, I'm going to play this one first, and Metroid Dread got played and beat twice before I even thought about looking in
Hmm.
the
At
direction of
something else.
GTA.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah. GTA is good. So let's jump into our next topic of PlayStation. Marcus, what's coming out for PlayStation Plus for November?
So I know you mentioned you like zombie games and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So one of the like there's the PlayStation Virtual Reality, which I don't have. I don't think anyone like really has it. But there's three PlayStation Virtual Reality games. There's like it's the Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners.
Okay.
So it's like a Walking Dead. Have you played any of the Walking Dead games
No,
or no?
no. Back in the day, which is like maybe like 7 years ago, I played the Telltale game.
Mhm.
I played that one,
Telltale
but
Story. Yeah.
I haven't really played any of like the other like licensed Walking Dead games. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a Walking Dead virtual reality game.
Hmm.
You can, horror, jump scares, zombies.
Yep.
So that's one of them. There's also this game called the Persistence. I don't know nothing about it. Look it up yourself. Whatever. And then there's a game called Until You Fall. It's like sword fighting, virtual reality. Like I said,
Okay.
I'm not interested, but that's just one of the three games.
Yeah, it's
So there's
coming.
three virtual realities, and then there's three other games. So this game called Knockout City. It's dodgeball.
That's interesting.
No,
I like
I
dodgeball.
the last dodgeball game I played was Super Dodgeball
Super
on.
Mm.
dodgeball.
I loved that game. Did you play it, Bryce?
Mm,
Wasn't like a
It
super monkey dodgeball, or is that a different game?
no, it was a 2D like this kind of game, and like you had different countries you picked, and every country had like their special move.
super.
But what
Yeah.
what what system for like
Uh,
SG?
Game Boy, right?
it was on Game Boy, I think, and then Super Nintendo.
Okay, I had it on Game Boy
Interesting.
Advanced, I think.
Yeah, like I don't even remember which country it was, but like one of the countries, their super move was like a homing ball. So like you throw it and then like you run back and forth to try and.
Mm, it's probably Russia. Probably Russia. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
That would make sense.
But yeah, so it's dodgeball. It's like a
Yeah.
multiplayer. It's like team by team
Isn't there
dodgeball. But
isn't there
it's like
isn't there another
no, go
dodgeball
ahead.
game out? There's another dodgeball game out that's supposed to be really good. See now I gotta
Get your Googles on.
Uh,
I want to say there
But
I want to say there was okay. Okay.
it's no yo, it's so it's not like 2D. It's like you're in an open world, but you're playing dodgeball. So it's not like you're in a confined to a map or a court. I guess yeah, you're not confined to a court.
Oh,
You're just running around. Is that
wait, you
it
said
or no?
Knockout City?
Knockout City. Is
Yeah,
that it?
this is the one I'm thinking
That's
of.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
This
it.
is
So
this is
that's
this is supposed to be really good. Yeah.
yeah.
so
So that's the PlayStation Plus game coming
so
in
it's like a
November.
first person shooter, but instead of guns and bullets, you got like rubber balls and.
It's not first person. It's third person.
It's
It's
like
like so think like the art like Splatoon,
Hmm.
like kind of how that is, but instead of like running around with a gun tagging people, you have a dodgeball
Wait, why I gotta be Splatoon? Is it Nintendo?
because you're Nintendo.
Um,
Yeah, you brought it up earlier, so reference points. Yeah, so that's interesting. I'll play that.
Mhm.
The other game is it's called First Class Trouble. It's basically like a bootleg Among Us. Are y'all
Mm,
familiar with
mhm.
Among Us? Or
Yeah,
have y'all seen it? Have y'all played it?
yeah,
Not at all. Haven't
I've
played it.
seen it. I never played it though.
yeah. Never played
So
it.
it's a bootleg Among Us. Six people are on like a luxury class ship,
Hmm.
and it's being taken over by like a rogue AI. So it's like iRobot basically. So there's four people that are the good guys, and then two people just randomly get chosen as the bad guys, and
Mm,
the two people have to like try to sabotage the people from trying to like save the ship,
yeah.
but you don't know who the sabotage people are. So I don't know. I might play it like once or twice.
Yeah.
Then the last game is Kingdom of Amular. It came out in 2012.
Oh wow.
It's like an action RPG game. I haven't played it, but
Yeah.
it says like the reviews from back then says it's really really dope. So it's like a remastered thing, like like we were talking about earlier,
Yep.
remastering, redoing stuff over.
Yep.
So yeah, that is the PlayStation Plus games for November.
Awesome. So I feel like
I'm gonna have to download those.
yeah, I feel like Knockout City. I feel like we need to get an online match with
Team,
like for sure, and then Among Us. I feel like we need to get on Among Us, and
the real Among
the
Us or the
real one,
bootleg
the
one?
real one. Yeah,
Okay.
and then and
And
then
probably
and then do
Fall
that one.
Guys too.
And Fall Guys. Yeah.
Chaos.
Hmm.
I feel like those are the three games we need to get up on. And I know those are like somewhat PC games. This is going to be a wild transition, but PlayStation,
I like it.
PlayStation and
I
PC.
like it. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
hey,
yeah, so PlayStation, they came out with a new label, I guess you can say. It's PlayStation PC, where they're all the PC games that come out on Steam under PlayStation are
Yep.
gonna have that PlayStation PC logo.
Yep.
I know God of War is coming out on there next year, and then Uncharted 4 coming out next year. Um, I know a lot of PlayStation people are kind of upset by
Hmm.
this because they feel like they bought a PlayStation, so they should get the PlayStation games, and other people shouldn't have the privilege of playing their
Yeah.
games. I don't really care too much because I'm not really into exclusivity. I mean, if the game is good, it's not your game,
Yeah.
so you should want. And if you like it, you should want everyone to play it if
Yeah.
it's a good game.
So I think the reason why exclusivity is such a big deal is because when it comes down to it, that's the core difference between the systems. So you can argue about like features and teraflops, and none of that really matters because if you don't have
On
games to play,
PC.
then it. But
Hmm.
I don't think PlayStation people should feel that way about PCs because it's still not a console, and PC is
Hmm.
still master race. So it's like you
What?
PC Master Race. I'm sorry.
What?
Like you can't beat a PC. You can beef up a PC like crazy. I've never had
Yeah.
like frame rate issues on a PC ever.
I think that's the issue because they're old games. They're like PlayStation 4 games that are coming out onto the PC.
Mhm.
So I mean, I got stats. So apparently,
I like stats. I like stats. Yeah, yeah.
so only 1/3 of PC players own a PlayStation 4,
Hmm.
and only 8% of PC players own a PlayStation 5. So that's a lot of income that they're
Potential
picking
market.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So what
Exactly.
is your face about the PC Master Race thing,
For
Bryce?
me,
You
because I
don't?
mean,
Yeah.
I think the whole like console war, PC master race is such a like an antiquated. It's so old. Like it goes like back to like the Genesis and the Nintendo. I don't understand it. Like if you like a game, like great. If you like a system, great. But like don't try to like compete against another console just because you bought one console and then it's like, oh no, I'm a PS fanboy, so like screw Xbox, screw PC. I'm all about PlayStation. It's like if there's a good game out there
Yeah.
and you want to play it,
No.
fantastic.
No.
Like if there's a system
No.
out there that you like,
Nah.
fantastic.
Nah.
I
Really?
Nah.
I I I
Nah.
I,
All right.
I
I mean,
want
I agree,
I
but no.
I
What do you,
I
I mean,
want all.
hold on. Time out. Like, what do you like? I don't understand. What do you need? What do you need to know?
I think he agrees with
No.
you, but he was saying nah, that's not allowed to do that.
No. I mean, that's logical. What?
Yeah, we don't follow logic in the console
No. That's
wars.
not that at all.
Wait, I'm still confused. So wait, so
He's
Marcus,
being
are
devil's
you
advocate.
so Marcus, are you on the side of the fanboys, or are you on the side of if you just like the game, you like the game?
I'm on the side of it. If you like the game, you like the game.
Hmm.
But at the same time, f all y'all other systems.
What? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Okay. So I mean, I agree with you, but I'm just saying like the fanboy logic is I don't care. Y'all system is trash. You don't have the megahertz. Your frame rate is trash.
Yeah.
You don't have the games. I mean, it's just basically like a whole elitist like my what I have is better than your
Right.
what you have. That's pretty
Yeah,
much what it is. But
like
I'm just
school
I'm just being
rivalry.
devil's advocate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it.
But
The
we all.
Lawrence is yeah.
No, I'm like if I had my way, then all games would be able to be played on all systems
You
because
on your Martin Luther King thing? I
yeah,
feel you.
at the end of the day, like if I'm on a game on my PlayStation and I want to challenge Bryce, I don't want to have to buy a system or have him buy another system. I want to, you know, I want us to be on our game console of choice because that's a level
Playing each
playing
other.
field. So
Hmm.
like one of the excuses people have right now when they lose a game, they're like, "Oh, I don't play this system. I don't have my controller." No,
Hmm.
there's no more excuses. You have yours, I have mine. You're at your best, I'm at my best. Now it's who is better.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts on crossplay? I know there's
I
very
It
few
needs to be
games right
there.
now that have the crossplay ability, but like if there are games out there where like I can be on Xbox, he can be on Nintendo, Mark's can be on PlayStation, and there is crossplay, like what are your thoughts then? Or
I
PC?
I love crossplay. Actually, me and Marcus used to play Genshin crossplay. I was on my PC. He was on his
That's a.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up later in the topic that we have, but
And
continue.
like it was great. It was funny because like I used to watch him like glitch across my screen because like the my PC is like a monster,
Mhm.
and he was on a PlayStation 4, so it was like
It's like jumping around like the old like ET
and
game.
it was fun. It was funny, but it was also fun because it was like, we wouldn't have been able to play in that instance in any other form because I
Mhm.
didn't have my PlayStation 4 with me. So I got to hop on and play with Marcus, and everything was fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
crossplay needs to be pushed.
I agree. Like, I feel like we're in a day and age now where um like these consoles are essentially glorified PCs, so that there shouldn't really be any excuse for why a multiplayer game can't be like I as an Xbox person can't play Marcus or can't play you on a PC. Like at this day and age, there shouldn't be an excuse for that. I feel like
Destiny
every
has crossplay.
yeah, I feel like every multiplayer game should have every third party multiplayer game should have crossplay. Like there should be like no excuse. Like for Halo, obviously there's crossplay between
Yeah,
Xbox and PC, but it's not on PlayStation, so that makes sense. But it's like if it's a game like Destiny or a game like Madden or a game like Call of Duty that is like everywhere, there should be no excuse. Like it should just work, you know. So
cool, cool, cool.
all right, anything else on the PC Master Race, Lawrence?
No, no, everyone needs a beefy PC to play all their new games.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into uh pretty much a completely different topic. And I wanted to bring this topic up because I think it's just an interesting topic. So Far Cry 6. So they have a marketing campaign where if you don't play Far Cry 6 for a given amount of time, so like let's just say I jump into Far Cry and I play for like 2 hours and I don't play it again for like 3 days, the main villain of the game will send you an email kind of mocking you, saying, "Hey, I see that you only played 2 hours of Far Cry. What? Are you scared of me? Are you afraid to defeat me?" And I just thought that was
Amazing.
such a crazy and unique thing that I haven't seen before.
Hmm.
And kind of like gives the main villain, played by I can't say his first name, but his last name is Esposito. Uh, it just gives the main villain of that game such more weight that he kind of knows that you're kind of like searching for him, but you can't find him. So like now he's mocking you. I thought that was kind of cool, and I feel like from a marketing perspective, so like in the real world, I'm a marketer. Just to kind of see that Ubisoft has like built that into their game. Um, I just thought that kind of blew my mind from a marketing standpoint. That hey, this villain has my email address, and he's like emailing me, mocking me, saying that oh, you've only played this game for 3 hours. Like, can you? I mean, are you done? Like, did I win? I just thought that was so cool. I just wanted to bring that up, and just wanted to like bring it to you all. Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you like kind of the integration of in-game characters, kind of like bleeding into the real world, kind of, and like talking to you in the real world? I don't know.
First, have you received the email? Because I know you said you played it like
I
all the time, so you have
I have
not.
I have not. I haven't got anything.
Or so are you gonna stop playing it for a little bit to see if you get it?
Um, Probably not. So, um, I could probably put it down for like a day or two just to see. Uh, but I've been playing it pretty consistently now, so I haven't gotten that email yet. So, but just scrolling through Twitter right now, and like some of the articles, some of the screenshots they're sending out was kind of just cool. So,
I that's actually a genius way of getting people back into a game. Like to just be scrolling through your emails, like, oh, what is this? It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
how dare he? My
How did right?
the only way they could have done better is if it sent like a text message,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That would have been scary.
like WYD.
That would have been
Yeah.
scary.
Like, who is this? Who is this?
And then you would have said, "Who is this?" And then it say, "I guess I won this time." And
Mm-hmm.
then it have like like the Far Cry,
Logo.
Yeah.
AI.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's
So yeah,
scary.
I just wanted to bring that up. So I just thought that was cool. And like for me personally, I love that, and I hope that other games do that because it just gives that that real world connection. Almost like, I mean, I don't want to bring up like Facebook or anything, but like how Facebook has like changed their name to Meta, and
Meta.
they're like
Yeah.
trying to evolve into like the metaverse of this whole like digital real world kind of like blending. So I kind of like that. I know some people thought it was creepy and didn't like it
Yeah, that's
at
what I was gonna
all.
be to say.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
what I was gonna say.
this is
Is it
like
was it like
this is Ready
a
Player
press
One.
release, or did people just happen to see it and then they brought it
Yeah,
up?
so
You know
like
how?
if you're opted into like Ubisoft's, I think it's like Ubisoft
Yeah,
Connect.
no, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, if you're opted in, you get these emails. And I don't think there was a press release for it. I think they just started to send out emails.
Emails and people just was like, "What the? Okay,
Yeah.
that's dope. That is dope."
See,
So yeah.
now details like that would make me actually buy that game
Hmm.
because I have Far Cry 5. I mean, I
Hmm.
never played it.
It's a good game. You should play it.
It's on my
I recommend
backlog.
it. I recommend
It's
it.
on my backlog.
Yeah.
Is it open or is it like GTA 5?
Well, so that one's digital.
Mm.
Okay, so it's not downloaded.
It's downloaded. It's like right there on my desktop.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But like every time I go to click it, I'm like, another
No.
game.
Yeah. I mean,
It that's
I have to admit, like Far Cry games, like it's a time commitment.
yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
don't have like 80 hours to commit to it, then it can be exhausting. It can be exhausting. So I get it.
Well, what's funny is I say I don't have time, but then I have like games where I like you look at the time, it's like, oh, like Metroid Prime took like 15 hours. I was like,
Hmm.
when did I sit for 15 hours?
Yeah.
Or like Persona 5, I played that game for like 230 hours.
Hmm.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, the last game where I put in like that many hours was Breath of the Wild. I think I put in like 175 hours in a Breath of the Wild. Uh, it's one of those things where
Breath
it's
of the
like,
Wild.
wait, did I?
Did
Where the
I
time
like what?
go?
Breath of the Wild
um,
drove me nuts. You are always in jeopardy of dying. Always.
Man, let's talk about Breath of the Wild. Like
Okay.
I enjoy Breath of the Wild. Um, but the one game mechanic that I absolutely hate in any game is weapon breaking. Like if I like a weapon, like I don't want to have to like hoard many different types of the same weapon just because I know it's going to break eventually. Like that's the one game mechanic I hope developers do away with. Like I get it, like oh you want the like the real world kind of like RPG element, and you know a bat isn't going to last forever, but just don't just
That bat should last forever.
it takes away. Like Dead Rising I think has a game mechanic too. I don't like that game mechanic at all.
And Dying Light had the same thing. Like you'd get your legendary weapons, and you look at it as you have 5 swings. Like,
Yep.
so when do I use it? Not this enemy. He's too weak.
Yep.
Or that's ridiculous. Breath of the Wild made me angry because the Master Sword even has like a timer.
Hmm.
So it's like there's no way to just be over leveled in that game, and I guess that's what they were going for.
That's
They
the
wanted you to
point. Yeah.
always be on your heels. But
Hmm.
in some instances, like I want at some point in time to just be trouncing on people.
Yeah,
Just blow in their direction, they fall over. Like at some point in time, I want to have that kind of progress.
yeah. You just want to be OP'd and just destroy people with one swipe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like in what was that anime Overlord?
never seen
Like
it.
it's a crazy anime. He's like super overpowered and
Oh, one
he's in
one hit
another
guy.
world. No, that's One Punch Man, but I
Oh, there you
like
That's
him
go.
One
too.
Punch
Yeah,
Man.
it was something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, like yeah,
One hit guy.
like One Punch Man. Like that's a
yeah,
perfect example.
yeah.
It's just no matter what, pow, it's
Hmm.
done. Except for that one guy that took two punches.
Okay. And I think another thing that I don't like about some games, Breath of the Wild included, is they give you the most powerful weapon at the very end. Like I
So you
want to
have to,
be able,
but you got to replay it
yeah,
all. No, you got to replay it all with the strong
yeah.
weapon.
And then you can't enjoy it. It's like, yeah, here it is.
Because like I think in Breath of the Wild, like the Golden Bowl, like they give it to you like literally when you beat the game, and I'm like, what? I I just spent 175 hours. I'm not gonna like go back and
Do
play
it
it
again.
again
Yes,
with
you
this
are.
thing. It's like,
Sure,
no,
you
I
are.
didn't. No,
Yeah, sure
no.
you are.
As soon as I beat the game, like I maybe did a little bit of more adventuring, a little bit, but I just like never played it again, really. So
Yeah, it's right here in my Nintendo case.
nice.
Yeah,
I heard the
so
tap. That's official.
I like that.
yeah,
All right,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that there's nothing worse than like getting to that point where like you're super powered, and then it's like, well, what do I do now?
Hmm.
And there's no after game. That's why like when I played Metroid Dread and they said you've opened up hard mode, it's like, well, of course I have to play
Mm.
hard mode now.
Hmm.
Um, because if you get to unlock something and it's something that you actually enjoyed, like you're
Hmm.
gonna want to do it again. Um, so that game, and what was that crazy game that you downloaded a game on Xbox? It was like an indie game, and you're a guy on like a
Oh, um,
secret base, and you shoot and like you can run.
complex. Shadow Complex.
Yes,
Yeah.
like that game. Like you get to the point where you're like Superman, and
Hmm.
it's like there's still a whole bunch more to do after that.
Yep.
Like that's you gotta have some in game stuff because otherwise, I bought the game and now what? I sell
Hmm.
it.
Right.
I mean, I don't sell my games because it's against my religion. So I don't like trading in games, but
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like now, like with that trade-in piece, I'm trying to buy all my game digitally now. So like the whole concept doesn't even register in my brain anymore. So
I've been fighting the digital for a long time, but it's getting harder to buy physical games.
hmm.
It's like I have to go to the store now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like before, it was okay because I was going outside, but now I have to make a special trip because I everything's inside.
Yeah. I mean, there is.
I mean, you can get it
Yeah.
delivered. It's Amazon.
But then I spent hours on YouTube like watching people's Amazon packages get stolen.
I mean,
Okay. So you don't order anything. That's a whole other conversation.
I
Never
was.
mind.
I kind of want to
like
explore that a
like
little bit
I
more, but like let's keep that for another.
Oh
So
man.
let's keep it moving. So I think we have about 10 minutes to go. Um, yeah, let's talk just really quickly. Let's talk about the Switch Online expansion. Lawrence, what do you?
So we have a lot of people who are quite upset. Switch Online just announced that they're gonna have an expansion, and for an extra $50 for a full year, you get access to their library of N64 games as well as Sega Genesis games. So you're gonna be able to emulate those, and you also get an Animal Crossing DLC, which
Yeah, Animal
um,
Crossing is big, but yeah.
Animal Crossing is huge, but you
Mhm.
have to buy that $50 expansion on top of the online that you already have.
Mm-hmm.
So I no, I have that wrong. It's $50 for the whole year for a single person, $80 for 8 different switches.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you have to pay that fee in order to have access to DLC. So it's essentially a DLC that you're paying for forever,
Hmm.
which
Mm.
is terrible practice in my opinion. I'm okay that Nintendo is increasing their online base price, but that was a bad segue.
Hmm.
Their online was like $20, which was fine, and they had to figure out a reason to increase it, and they tried.
Mm.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're gonna make a lot of
They
people happy with
succeeded.
this.
Yeah.
But
So,
this is one of those I'm probably gonna buy it
hmm.
because
Hmm.
in 64 games, like
Yeah. So
you can't dangle that carrot and yeah.
is it
Go ahead.
like all N64 games and all Genesis games, or is it
So
like
I
a
don't know if it's
select?
all, but
Yeah.
it's not a select, but I don't know if it's all. I know that
Yeah.
they're going to lead with all of everyone's
Right.
favorites.
Yeah. So I was gonna say like N64 has some hitters. Like that's a classic
Mm-hmm.
console. So if they like even if they do maybe not the entire library of N64 games, but like to your point,
The
even if they have
major.
like the major ones, I think that's I don't know
Yeah,
that's kind of big.
if they put GoldenEye on there and allow online,
Yeah.
that might be worth it all by itself.
Yeah.
Like we can get on GoldenEye right now,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and old school like psh, psh.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
have a Switch, so not me, but yeah.
So
Well, we hashtag
I'll
fund us.
well, oh,
oh yeah,
I was waiting for the hashtag. Okay.
put the PayPal up there. Yeah, made the flash that up there.
Yeah. So if you want M. Dot to play Switch, yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
so is it are they going to um like refresh the graphics, or is it going to be just a kind of a one-to-one like emulation of
Port.
yeah.
Yeah. Or
So
emulation.
they're gonna have to make some like improvements because right now I can emulate it myself if I wanted to. That's a terrible thing to do. Don't do it
Yeah.
ever.
Don't do it ever
Like
in life. Not
wink wink,
ever.
Right.
don't do it.
Don't do
Never,
that.
never steal ever.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Ever. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But I guess according to laws, I own the game already, so it's not me stealing. It's
I mean,
Exactly.
it's me
you already paid
backing
for it.
up my investment.
You already paid for
Yeah,
it.
I'm backing up my investment. But they have to do something great because I can do a lot of that myself if I wanted to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
convince me why I need to spend money on you doing it.
All right. I mean, I might check it out, but I don't want to spend the money. like, I don't want to spend the money. Like, I do. Again, it kind of goes back to like I never had an N64, so it'd be great to kind of go back and be able to play those games.
Mm-hmm.
But
For how long are you gonna do that for with new games
eh,
and coming out?
yeah, it's like
I
I
mean,
want to, but it's like I can't justify it. I can't.
I mean, it's eight people, so essentially you can just split that between like a few people
It's true. Yeah.
and say I'd say like max four. You each get two entries.
Hmm.
Boom, $20 a year in 64 games,
Hmm.
Genesis games,
Yeah.
online
Mm, you pay more
backups
for
because Switch doesn't
Netflix.
let you do online backups unless you have their online system. So
Okay. All right. So let's round out. We have about 5-ish to 10 minutes left. Let's transition to our question of the week. So, every week we're gonna plan to come to the table with a question of the week that everyone is gonna answer. This week we have kind of two questions. I'm gonna go to you, Marcus, first on this one. Two questions this week. One, now that we're getting towards the end of the year, what is your current game of the year? And then a second question is, what game might not be in the consideration for game of the year, but it's still a good game that's kind of under the radar? So I want to go to your way first. It's a tough question. It's a tough question.
So yeah, we don't have much time, so I'm gonna be quick. So my game of the year is a game that came out mad long ago, but it came out this year. So that would be the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay.
So no need for explanation on that. It's Final Fantasy VII. So my under the radar game that people don't know, but I think was pretty dope. Lawrence mentioned it earlier, the Genshin Impact.
Okay.
It's a mobile game. In
Hmm.
essence, it was like a mobile game that ported over to PlayStation and
Yep.
PC, and it
Yep.
was really. It's actually still going on. It's
And
really
that's free
really
to play,
dope.
right?
The
And that's free to
stories,
play, right?
it's free to
Yeah,
pay. It's free to
and
play. Yep.
there's talks of it coming on Switch. I don't know if that's real, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It should. I mean, I don't see why not. But yeah, Genshin
Yeah.
Impact. That's my underrated game. People might not play, but it's free to play. Go check it out. It's
Awesome.
dope.
All right, Lawrence.
So my game of the year, of course, Metroid Dread. I've said
Okay.
that game a million times. Um, if you've never played a Metroid game, you can start here, and your expectations will be high. The controls are smooth. The 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 storyline is I I kind of expected it, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a bunch of surprises. They have all the stop gaps for people who are more advanced, so you don't have to play it in a specific direction. You can pretty much do whatever you want if you're good enough.
Yep.
That game is amazing, and it was the best game that I've played so far in a long time,
Nice.
and
Okay.
it made me re-interested in games. So
Yeah.
even though it's a 2D game, it should win Game of the Year, but it's gonna have a hard time because it's 2D.
Sure.
2D.
Is
Yeah.
it a long game?
Yeah.
Is it can you like play it in one sitting or?
Um. So you can't play it in one sitting,
Mhm.
but if you play it from beginning to end, if you're decent, about 12 to 15 hours.
Okay.
If you're terrible, it might take a little bit longer.
It's not bad. Yeah.
But there's speed runners that are like an hour and a half,
Wow.
but they're doing a lot of skips and they're
Yeah, yeah.
like going
I
straight to
feel
it.
like speedrunners they just exploit bugs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And under the radar game, The World Ends with You. So
Interesting. I never
it's a
heard of it.
2D side. Yeah, it's a 2D side scroller game.
Okay.
It's a JRPG essentially, and you got to use
Sensing a
the
theme
touchpad
with
to do your
Lawrence.
fighting.
It's a theme. It's a
So
theme, Marcus.
Theme going on. I don't know if is
2D.
look,
2D.
2D is I love 2D games. Like
you don't say.
you don't have to lean on like one of the worst things about a 3D game is like you start thinking about how immersive that 3D area is. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, there's a tree there. Can I cut the tree down? And those are things that take away from gameplay, in my opinion. Because if you can't cut down the tree, it's like, oh well, that was a letdown. But if you can, it's like, oh, and now well, how many trees can I cut down before they all disappear? So now you're not playing the game; you're testing out the physics of the game. A good game can't have those things. I
Okay.
can't. I can't.
I wanna. I mean, we're at the end, kind of. So I wanna,
We'll mark that down for next time.
I wanna
I'll make a
explore
note.
that.
I'll make a note.
Look, like okay, for example, like you start a Skyrim game,
Mhm.
right? And you spend most of your time not being the Dragonborn. Like you're doing everything besides what you're supposed to be doing to save the world.
But who? Okay, but who said you're playing a game though? You're having fun. You're. Who's to say that's what you're supposed to be doing?
My
Like you're
fun,
supposed to be
my
having fun.
like
Is
my fun isn't
is
oh
beating it?
there's this werewolf over here. Let's go see that. Oh, there's a crab. How
So
much can I hold? I'm
That's why you
over
don't like
encumbered.
GTA. Okay, it all makes sense
so
now.
Lawrence
Hmm.
is Lawrence, you're gatekeeping fun. It's like I mean, if someone wants to have fun, like chopping down trees, like let them chop down trees.
If they put it is in the game, it's a part of the game.
But then if it's not part of the game, then it takes away. Like I was in a Twitter thread and they were talking about God of War. And they're like, oh, this game is so great, but you can't cut down trees. And they spent like an hour like hacking at a tree. And I'm like, God of War is a
Mm-hmm.
great game, and you're focused on cutting down that tree. Like, problem.
Okay. 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 What was the game of that? What was the name of that game again? Your under the radar game.
The the world ends with you.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Uh,
What
Take
about
take
you,
note
Bryce?
take note of that. So my game of the year. actually has not come out yet. Yes, it is. It has not come out yet. It doesn't come out until next week.
Future.
But I guarantee you, um, I guarantee you that it's going to be on pretty much everyone's Game of the Year list, and it is Forza Horizon 5. Uh, just, just
Oh.
like pretty much everything they've shown
Okay.
about that game is it's going to be a 10 out of 10. Like I guarantee you, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 game. 9 out of 10 at the minimum. 9 out of 10. So I actually just downloaded the add-ons for it in preparation for the launch next week because if you do that, you can play it early. So I'm looking forward to jumping into that next week. I haven't like historically, I've never really been a racing game guy. But just something about this game is like just pulling me in. I'm like, man, I can't wait to play this game. Like I've never think about this. Yeah, I've never purchased a racing game in my life. I played them, I never purchased them, and this is gonna be the first game that I'm like throwing in money to play a racing game.
So you didn't even buy like Midnight Club?
You're on mute, Marcus. You're on mute.
Oh yeah.
I was just making sure you
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
no thing. You didn't play Need for Speed? None
I
of the Need for
played it,
Speed
but
games?
I didn't
Oh,
buy
you
it.
didn't
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
it. Okay.
So this is
I didn't like Need for Speed.
yeah.
You didn't like Need Hot Pursuit? You crazy, man. Because it was open world. I got you. All right, so
Like Lawrence got beef for open world games, man. No.
I mean, like I liked what was that one where you were supposed to crash? You got points for it.
I
I
don't
think it may have
remember.
been called Crash.
Burnout.
Okay, Burnout. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved Burnout. And Midnight Club
Yeah.
Dub Edition.
That's a good one.
Dub
Yeah.
edition. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has to be Dub Edition.
Hmm.
But since then, no racing game. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with
Okay.
you on that.
And I think another thing that is driving me, no pun intended, to for Forza Horizon 5 is the developers of Forza Horizon 5 are developing, I think, my most anticipated game of this generation, of this next generation.
Wow. A lot of
And
sauce in
that's
that.
yes, and that's it's a Fable. Fable is my most anticipated game of this next generation, and I can't tell you how excited I am to play Fable. Like when it released originally on the
so
original Xbox, like that was like my RPG. It was the original Fable, so I'm looking forward to the reboot of it. And the developers of Forza
Mhm.
Horizon 5 are developing for Fable. So that's I think another reason why because I feel like when I do play Forza Horizon 5, I'm getting a flavor of what Fable might be, at least from a an open world like graphical standpoint. So
Got you.
that's probably another reason why. My under the radar game, and I think we talked about this a little bit offline, is Scarlet Nexus. So, Scarlet Nexus is a JRPG, kind of like a sci-fi JRPG, um, that has like an anime, obviously JRPG, and anime kind of element to it. And I typically don't like buy JRPGs or like really get into JRPGs, but I really love sci-fi and just something about the bosses they have and the gameplay and um really the graphics too. Like even though it is kind of an anime kind of art direction, the graphics are still like really good too. And the gameplay is fun. So like that is going to be my kind of the under the radar game. It you might see it on some people's game of the years list, but I don't think so because I don't think it sold very well. But if you
Hmm.
haven't played Scarlet Nexus, I definitely recommend that one. And if you like JRPGs, it's been a good one. I haven't finished it yet because Far Cry kind of came out, but I definitely look forward to going back into it because I've had a lot of fun with it. So I think that does it. Is this yeah
We
we
did it.
this
We
is
did it.
episode one.
We did it.
yeah.
Let's
We finished.
go.
Oh,
Let's
Oh wait.
um,
Oh
go.
also
yeah,
just
yeah.
just an added, The World Ends with You has a demo, so you can
Mm,
try before you buy.
actually,
Bringing stuff full circle.
yes,
I like
and
it. I
with that,
like it.
Scarlet Nexus also has a demo. And if you play the demo, you get an add-on if you play the
In
full
the game.
game. So
Ooh.
full
See, I,
circle.
I like
Yeah,
I like getting the in-game things for doing the demo.
yeah, I like it. So that I mean that's it. I mean that's episode one. I forgot what we did for like what is our close? What did we just
We had a
yeah?
close.
How do we do this?
No, we just
Do we just like introduce ourselves and then
yeah, we introduce ourselves at the end. Yeah, we
Allow us to
introduce ourselves at
reintroduce
the end.
ourselves.
let's do that. Okay.
My name is
Let
Hove.
me throw the Lawrence then. That's I don't know.
All right. Find me on Your Shyness on IG, on Twitter. Don't find me on Facebook because only family's on there. But it's not Facebook anymore. It's Meta. I'm not on there anyway.
No, it's still Facebook. It's still Facebook.
Oh, really? I don't really go on
It's
there.
like the company is Meta, like the Facebook is still Facebook.
Ah, okay.
But
Okay. Yeah. So find me on IG, find me on Twitter. I'm in Cali now. Hit me up. Come see what I'm talking about.
Cool. All right, Marcus.
yeah, I'm on social media, but not on social media, so don't worry about that. You can find me PlayStation M.111. Yeah, and that's gonna lead us to Bryce to
Yeah.
round it out.
Bryce. You can find me on Xbox and PlayStation and I think Nintendo. I haven't played it in a while, but I think on Nintendo with screen name this is Ekyrb. This is ECYRB. And then on Twitter, you can find me at who is Bryce Davis. Yeah, and I think that's it. For Lawrence, for Marcus, for me, Bryce. This has been us. Good game in a drink podcast, episode one. And we'll catch you all next time.